Hello again, I'm BR Schultz, SP500. It is September 5th, 2025, and I want to show you the Einstein model today. That it's projecting a low in markets or a bottom in markets after Thanksgiving holiday. So I found that very interesting, obviously, because there were attacks made on Trump's cabinet swatting last year around Thanksgiving of 2024. And so I'm just wondering, are there plans to again make some type of threats or some type of activity against America? Is another country going to attack America? The cartels that Trump is waging war against in Mexico, could it be something to do with them? Who knows? Who knows what it could be? But it looks like there's a high probability that either some very negative economic news comes out on Thanksgiving or near Thanksgiving, or that there is some type of violence or threat made against the United States on roughly Thanksgiving. So I think it's going to be another high alert holiday, unfortunately. But whatever the case, it looks like the bottom in markets should occur after Thanksgiving, shortly after Thanksgiving, for the next bottom after the major low in markets. Around October 20th. So I want to show you that today in the daily model using only pricing data, where I believe that historical data predicts the future. And then we have about 60 months until the Great Depression kicks off, in my opinion. We have about a 3-year window where it's going to be highly favorable for a depression, 2031 through 2033, and then the tail end obviously would be in early to mid 2034. For about 3.4 years of a depression window. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump to the slides. This is the Einstein model. It predicted that there would be some type of crash around early August. And you can see it has a nice, beautiful count out into roughly that October 20th that I've been talking about for a major crash low. And then you can see how the recent market activity dropped the model right into there's an offset in the model, so the dates are slightly offset as far as the graph over the date, right? Just to let you know. So we had the break in the market let's see here, I'm looking at a graph real quick. So what happened is the model broke into August 12th. So that I think that break was actually in relation to the early August break. So it takes some time to kind of snap the model, if you will. So now that the model popped back up from early August, and then markets have trended sideways, then the model snapped back down, snapped back up. And when it did that, it created a 1, 2, 3 count. Okay. You can see it by the yellow trajectory. We have a 1, 2, 3 count. The latest snap down, snap up kind of created a flat spot in the model, and then it snapped even, like you got this really hard snap up. So that created a 1, 2, 3, or maybe even you might call it a 1, 2, 3, 4, because the flat spot also counts as a count, right? So you have the corner of the zigzag, and then you have the second corner of the snap up, and then the distance in between, depending on how long it lasts or whatever, it can be a couple hits as well. Like with the white line, there's a couple hits actually where the graph meets the dashed line. So that's how, if you watch previous videos and saw I have a 7 count on the white line, it was a 4, 5, 6, and 7 right there over the late May portion of the white line touching the graph. That's how I arrive at that. So with the current trajectory, we have a 1 count, obviously in early August with the dip in the graph, and then pops back up. Then it pulls back down in late August, early September. That's a 2, 3, 4 count, and then it's projecting that there's some type of crash at the very end of November. Now, could it be like December 1st? It certainly could, right? But what's odd is that it's projecting right around the day after Thanksgiving, or nearly after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, So in theory, we could see some kind of attack on the US on Thanksgiving, or get some really bad economic news, or something really bad comes out. But that is a bottom, mind you. Okay, so whatever the news is, it's quick, and it lasts for just a short time, and then that is considered a bottom by the model. So the model is picking out some type of a bottom to buy into. It's projecting that is a low in the pricing, and a buy point, if you will, just like it's projecting that around October 20th is a major bottom, major buy point in the markets as well. And just like early August was a projected bottom, and around June 20th was a projected bottom, and yeah, could go on and on and on. So the top of the graph is around 175, 177, and then the bottom of the graph is like negative 100. So don't ask me why that works so well, but it seems to be working quite well, as it predicts more and more these bottoms, these crash bottoms, crash lows in markets. Even though they're short-lived, it's still able to understand it. And don't ask me how I came up with this model, because I came up with it around, I think, 2009 or 2010 actually, the formula for this. And it's over the years that I've actually been learning about the model more, how accurate it is. So yeah, and it's all based on pricing. There's no nothing else. Nothing else is baked into these models except for pricing, and lots of sweet mathematics in the background. Yeah, I love my math. So anywho, that's why I believe we could see some type of attack on the U.S. or big negative announcement of some sort around Thanksgiving. So there's some kind of shock to the market where it drops the markets really hard, and the market bottoms right around the end of November, December 1st, or the day after Thanksgiving, whatever. But so be careful. I mean, obviously it picked out June 20th, right? That picked out the bottom for June 20th when President Trump had a secret attack on the Iranian nuclear facilities. So secret that the model figured it out, right? Clear as day, it figured out the attack on the Iranian facility. That's just odd, isn't it? That the model is that smart. That's why I call it the Einstein model. It's able to figure these things out. And don't ask me how it knew around the 20th through 24th that there would be some major event. But yeah, it figured it out. And then markets bottomed after the 20th or 23rd, whatever, in June, and then rocketed, right? And you can also see how the model is kind of building a step up, like a 1, 2, 3 up right now. And then that could take us into, I don't know, is the model going to complete 5 waves up into the Fed date? It could. Then we could have a 3-way crash down in the model into that major bottom around October 20th. I'll have to update the videos into that time frame. But it's interesting to me how we have a 1, 2, 3 up now. So it's already got 3 waves up on the yellow line, and it usually gets about 5 waves, and then it can crash if it wants to. And you can kind of see the 5 waves from end of March. So 1 up, 2 down into early April, 3 up into end of May, 4 down into early June of 2025, and then 5 up into the end of July, and then we crashed into August 1st. If you will remember, I was calling for an August 1st bottom for a while, and then it bumped out to I think it also called the August 8th low. Yeah, so I have that with my micro models, but you can see how the exhaustion, or the reset, went into early August, and now we're making 5 waves up either into September 16th, which we could be doing, and then you could have a crash after the Fed speaks, or it could be a 5-wave move up into the October 3rd peak, right? So it looks like there could be some kind of peak around the Fed date in my short-term models, and then I see another peak around October 3rd. So I'm not sure exactly what the wave count will be at those times, but you can kind of see the formation. I'm trying to explain how you read the formation, how you read the 5 waves of movement, and then the exhaustion. And then it's starting a new 5-wave series. And I like it because even though the model can change trajectories or angles, it doesn't reset the wave count. You know, it sinks and then it shifts a different path, right? It doesn't change directions. It changes angles, right? And then all of a sudden when it snaps up or snaps down, that's the wave count. But when it shifts directions, it's not a new wave. It's just a different maturity window within the wave, right? It changes its angling, but doesn't create a new wave altogether. So I find that very interesting about this model. Anywho, that's about 10 minutes for today. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the fall weather. I'm already getting a runny nose, I guess. I don't know if it's from my kids at daycare or what, but this colder weather in Michigan is already starting to make me sniffle a little bit. So hopefully we see some quality market timing out of these models here going into year end, and as we work our way up to that 10.3 to 10.5 target into late 2030, as we carry out the next 5 years, and then Great Depression window kicks in. So, and then obviously the following slides are about the GoFundMe, closing that at the end of December of 2034. Let's see where that goes. My target is $777,000 in gifts. It's a pie in the sky goal, but who knows? So, anywho, you can watch that too if you want to be entertained, or there's probably always those that are they're my critics as well, and they're want to watch that too to hope they'd like to make fun of me, whatever. I get so yep. It'll be humorous either way, right? If I drastically fail my target, it'll be humorous. I mean, my critics will laugh. I will laugh at that too, because I'm a dad and things just never turn out as you plan. And but if I hit the mark of that many in gifts from my GoFundMe, obviously I would probably fall over, in shock, and probably my critics would too. So we'll have to see what happens. You never know. One of my videos, one of my predictions might go viral someday. So that's why I keep chugging along here, keep panning for gold, panning for diamonds. Maybe my chance to find a giant gold nugget is still ahead in time. I don't know, for stock market timing. But either way, hopefully you enjoy my predictions and what unfolds. Hopefully it's not an attack on the USA or anything like that around Thanksgiving. But there's definitely a high probability that something very negative happens around Thanksgiving time of 2025. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm BR Schultz, SP500. Until next time, take care. Again, this is just a snippet of the GoFundMe page. I didn't want you to forget that, so thank you. And please bookmark it, whatever, and watch it over the next decade or into late 2034. Thank you so much.